And it's coming up at 2 p.m. Eastern. We'll let you know soon as the Fed, Central Bank, releases its decision.
Media Minute with Howard Kurtz.
Disgraced crypto king Sam Bankman-Fried has been charged with wire fraud and conspiracy for misusing customer funds, defrauding the U.S., and violating campaign finance laws, according to a federal indictment unsealed yesterday. Bankman-Fried had been arrested Monday night in the Bahamas at the request of the Justice Department, and part of the reason was to make sure that he did not testify at a hearing yesterday where he was going to be a star witness. Now, somehow, reporters obtained, I wonder how that happened, Bankman-Fried's statement. I effed up. I know it doesn't mean that much to say I'm sorry. I'm dedicating myself to making customers whole. In other words, generating sympathy for himself, saying he didn't do anything wrong. And by the way, the business press utterly failed by lionizing this guy without doing due diligence, and they bear responsibility as well. With your Media Minute, Howie Kurtz, Fox News.
And we have your Fox weather forecast coming up next with meteorologist Amy Freeze on Fox News Headlines 24/7.
Did you hear the news? Now you can. With instant updates from Fox News for Amazon Alexa. Just say,
Alexa, play news from Fox.
In Fox News.
it's the latest when you need it. On demand from Fox News and Amazon Alexa.
Of course.
Paid for by the Sentinel Group. Attention Marines, military personnel, families, and contractors who were stationed at Camp Lejeune. Were you present at Camp Lejeune between August 1953 and December of 1987? You may be entitled to significant compensation. For nearly 34 years, those in the Marine Corps' base Camp Lejeune were exposed to contaminated drinking water, resulting in devastating injuries, including several forms of cancer, adverse birth outcomes, Parkinson's disease, and more. North Carolina's procedural laws have prevented victims from getting the justice they deserve, but passage of the Camp Lejeune Justice Act of 2022 would allow you or a loved one to file lawsuits seeking compensation for illnesses and injuries linked to the toxic water. Call today for your free consultation. 800-973-9121. Let our experienced attorneys fight to get you the compensation you deserve, and you pay nothing unless there's a recovery in your favor. Call 800-973-9121. That's 800-973-9121. Again, 800-973-9121.
Fox Weather.
I'm meteorologist Amy Freeze in America's Weather Center. Dangerous twisters in the Dallas Metroplex caused injuries and structure damage. 5 tornadoes have been confirmed, with as many as 12 expected. In Louisiana, a mother and young son were found dead after a tornado struck their home, and the storm risk continues for Mississippi, Alabama. On the north side of this major system, it's a blizzard, a blast of winter where winds have reduced the visibilities. Additional foot of snow is still possible through Friday for North Dakota, South Dakota, of Minnesota. The upper Midwest is just a mess, facing harsh travel. And next up, this storm will bring ice and snow to the central Appalachians and into the interior Northeast. After midnight tonight, a mix of freezing rain and sleet breaks out across the Blue Ridge and Allegheny Mountains of Virginia, and then it moves into central PA. Get updates at Fox Weather on our app or go to foxweather.com. All right, thanks, Amy. Congress looking to pass a spending bill to keep the lights on the Hill. It's lights out for FTX. The former CEO behind bars, Gianna Gelosi, alongside CJ Papa. Thanks for joining us here on Fox News Headlines 24/7. Your top stories at the top of the hour with Therese Crowley next.
Keeping you informed with headlines every 15 minutes. I'm Shannon Bream, and America is listening to Fox News Headlines 24/7. The Hour, Fox News from the top, all about the money, from the crypto king to averting a government shutdown to paying more for credit and to handling the Biden team's latest prediction of 5 million migrants crossing the border a year. From America's news headquarters, I'm Therese Crowley on Fox News Headlines. Well, the judge allowed him to take his meds, but refused his proposal for a $250,000 cash bail. So the collapsed crypto king, Sam Bankman-Fried, waking up in a Nassau, Bahamas jail cell, and prosecutors charge crypto or cash fraud as fraud.
Federal prosecutors allege FTX founder Sam Bankman-Fried orchestrated a cryptocurrency scheme to defraud investors.
This is one of the biggest financial frauds in American history.
Hours before U.S. Attorney Damian Williams outlined several charges against Bankman-Fried, the former FTX CEO was scheduled to testify.
They deserve.
Financial Services Committee Chair Maxine Waters says her panel will continue the collapse of FTX. The company's new CEO told lawmakers there was an utter lack of internal controls. On Capitol Hill, Jared Halpern, Fox News.
In fact, they used QuickBooks. Missouri Republican Ann Wagner asking where the regulators were on Fox's special report with there.
Chairman of the Securities and Exchange Commission has said on numerous occasions that he had the tools to regulate these trading platforms, and he even stated last May that the commingling of funds was absolutely something that needed to be stopped, but he did nothing.
Congress also looking for the money to avert a government shutdown, but they're on the verge of finding it.
Leaders on both sides of the aisle from the Senate and House Appropriations Committees say they've got a path forward to enact an omnibus spending bill next week. Democratic Congresswoman Rosa DeLauro says the committees are going to work around the clock to negotiate a deal. And Senate Appropriations Chair Pat Leahy said they're not looking for just a 2-month continuing resolution. The framework applies to spending for the fiscal year ending in September. The House is expected to vote soon on funding the government for just 1 week while that deal gets done. In Washington, Jill Nato, Fox News.
Americans will be paying still more for credit. The Fed announcement coming today expected to raise interest rates another 0.5 percentage point to cool down inflation. But that would be the smallest rate hike since March, with signs that inflation is slowing down.
Prices remain stubbornly high, especially for food. Eggs are nearly 50% more expensive than a year ago. Milk and coffee are up almost 15% from last year. President giving credit to the Fed for the slowing inflation. Instead, he's claiming his policies are responsible.
What is clear is that my economic plan is working and we're just getting started. My goal is simple: get price increases under control without choking off economic growth. Bring inflation down while keeping our labor market resilient.
And the markets are up in advance of the Fed announcement. The Biden administration's answer to the border crisis, asking Congress $1 billion not to shut the border down, but to hire more agents to process more migrants and transport them around the country, with literally millions more migrants on the way if and when pandemic Title 42 ends next week.
For days now, the White House more details soon on how exactly they plan to manage the coming surge. But both Monday and yesterday, no news there except a tacit acknowledgement that migrants believe the border is open.
We're working to combat misinformation from smugglers, individuals who attempt to cross the border unlawfully and don't have a legal basis to remain will be subject to removal.
The White House is not responding to a bipartisan call to extend Title 42, set to expire in just 7 days. Democrat Senator Joe Manchin and now joining their Republican colleagues in telling the administration DHS has not outlined a viable plan to maintain operational control of the southern border.
Already more than 500,000 migrant encounters at the southern border just since October. And the number is expected to double or possibly triple.
Sports at 5 and 35 past every hour on Fox News Headlines 24/7. The latest is coming up next.
You're listening to SiriusXM Radio.
Why do I work at Paul Davis? I love solving problems, working with my hands. But what I really care about is making a difference. Visit pauldavis.com/career.
Peter Schwartz with Sports at 5 and 35.
Free agent shortstop Carlos Correa is cashing in a big way as he reportedly agrees to a 13-year, $350 million deal with the San Francisco Giants. It's the richest contract ever given to a shortstop, and the deal matches the 13-year contract that Bryce Harper signed with the Phillies as the longest contract in baseball history. The family of American soccer journalist Grant Wall announced that he died of a slowly growing undetected aortic aneurysm. Wall passed away last week covering the World Cup in Qatar. The World Cup semifinals yesterday, Argentina beat Croatia 3-0. Today it's France and Morocco at Eastern Time. NBA, the Lakers-Celtics rivalry was renewed with overtime in Los Angeles.
Smart up the right side. Reeves got picked off, so Smart drives, so to the left corner, open Grant Williams for three. And it's gone from 13 down with 3:40 to go to take the lead in overtime, 115-114.
Sean Grande on Celtics radio. The Celtics beat the Lakers in overtime, 122-118, 44 points. Also, the Bucks beat the Warriors 128-111-30 for Giannis Antetokounmpo. Now to NHL history in Chicago. Capital star Alex Ovechkin became just the third player in league history to reach 800 career goals. He joins Wayne Gretzky and Gordie Howe in the 800 club with a hat trick in the Caps 7-3 win over the Blackhawks.
It's a big number. It's one of the best company you ever can imagine since you start playing hockey to be in with that category. 800 only. I'm the third person who ever scored that many goals.
Ovechkin is the first player in league history to score 800 with just one franchise. With sports at 5 and 35 past the hour on Fox News Headlines 24/7, Sirius XM 115. I'm Peter Schwartz.
And coming up, new clues in the Idaho investigation are interesting surveillance video. Anyway, it's coming up.
Santa baby, Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer. Sirius XM Holly's 40 most lit holiday hits. Hear it throughout the week on Holly Channel 104.
I've been using Rosetta Stone this year, and I'm loving it. Because Rosetta Stone makes learning a new language feel natural and fun. Rosetta Stone breaks down your new language into bite-sized pieces, so it's easy to progress, even if you only have 10 or 15 minutes at a time. I love how they help you learn through interactions and teach you phrases you'll use in real-life situations. It gets you ready for real conversations with real people. And with the award-winning Rosetta Stone app, you can learn whenever and wherever it's convenient. Learn just about any language you want on Rosetta Stone, from Spanish and French to Korean and Japanese, and even Greek and Hindi. Or dabble in all of them, like me. Rosetta Stone offers a lifetime unlimited subscription, where you get access to all 25 of their languages forever. Try it out for yourself today at rosettastone.com. Rosetta Stone, how language is learned.
Tornadoes tore through parts of Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi late last night into this morning. At least 3 people killed, including a boy and his 30-year-old mom in the Pecan Farms area of Keithville, Louisiana. Fox Weather's Robert Ray reporting from Caddo Parish.
A very sad situation here in Caddo Parish, Louisiana. Northwest part of the state, just south of Shreveport. Unfortunately, a young boy and his mother have died from this possible tornado that hit here yesterday. The boy found outside of his home in a debris field. The mother a.m. a block away from their home. Unfortunately, just 2 weeks before Christmas, this family going through a lot, as is this community. The Caddo Parish Sheriff with the roadblocks not allowing people into the neighborhood.
As many as 25 people in Farmersville were injured. That's east of Shreveport. 2 police officers shot and killed in the line of duty in Mississippi. The 2 Bay St. Louis police officers were answering a call earlier this morning at a Motel 6 when they encountered a woman who was armed, and police say the woman shot both officers before killing herself. One officer died at the scene. The other was taken for treatment for his injuries but succumbed. Mississippi Bureau of Investigation still gathering evidence. President Biden marking 10 years since the elementary school massacre in Newtown, Connecticut.
The 20 first graders gunned down in classrooms 10 years ago at Sandy Hook Elementary School should be 11th graders now, planning for all the possibilities ahead, President Biden says in a proclamation marking the anniversary of the shooting. 6 educators were also for a new group of students. In the decades since the shooting, the president says Americans have re-examined core values about whether the country can protect the most innocent. President Biden did sign legislation this year targeting mental health in schools. Continue fighting to ban assault weapons and high-capacity magazines. In Washington, Jared Halpern, Fox News.
At the time, President Obama said this must never be allowed to happen again. Police in Moscow, Idaho continue searching for a Hyundai Elantra spotted near the house where 4 University of Idaho students were found murdered, with surveillance video near the time of the murders capturing new leads to follow up. Fox's Trace Gallagher has the update.
Fox News Digital got an exclusive photo of a similar white sedan spotted on a local gas station camera around 3:45 the morning of the murders. Also, new police body camera footage is sparking new questions. Moscow police officers questioned students suspected of drinking, but in the background, tipsters spotted a group walking by at 3:12 a.m., which put them and police just steps from the home in the time frame that the coroner said the 4 students were stabbed to death.
As for the Hyundai Elantra, police say they don't know the vehicle's license plate, but they spotted it on that, something like it on that gas station surveillance video, and it's not clear if somebody was involved in the murders or may have witnessed something, but they could potentially be of help in the investigation. 12 minutes after the hour, Fox Business News. Let's see what's happening with Jenny Casola.
Treasury stocks are higher. The Federal Reserve releases its decision on interest rates in less than 3 hours, along with its assessment of the economy. There is another sign: inflation pressures may be cooling. The prices you pay for things from other countries. Import prices in November declined 0.6%. Delta Airline shares are rallying up more than 3.5%. Delta says it's still seeing robust demand for air travel, and it's raised its earnings forecast for this year. Today is National Free Shipping Day. Many online retailers are offering free shipping deals and promising delivery by Christmas. J.M. Smucker says its Jif peanut butter is back on the shelves after a recall. The company says it's now producing the entire portfolio of Jif items. The voluntary followed a possible salmonella contamination at a plant. The Dow is up 197, the Nasdaq has gained 55, and the is up 22. Business news twice an hour on Fox News, headlines 24/7. I'm Jenny Casola.
And your Fox weather with the extreme weather is on the way next here on Fox News Headlines 7.
How would you like to come home to a you want? I'll have an old-fashioned.
I'll have a margarita.
Now you can with the Bartesian Home Cocktail Maker. Bartesian is a sleek machine the size of a coffee maker that makes premium cocktails at the touch of a button. Choose from over 50 different cocktails, from classics to the most exotic premium cocktails served in the best bars today. You'll always get freshly mixed, perfectly balanced cocktails with the Bartesian Cocktail Maker. And now get free new Bartesian when you go to bartesian.com/info. Entertaining? The Bartesian. No need to stock all kinds of individual mixers for complicated recipes. Every guest gets the cocktail in seconds. The Bartesian makes a wonderful gift for anyone who loves a fine premium cocktail. And now get free cocktails and free shipping with your new Bartesian when you go to bartesian.com/info. That's BARTESIAN.com/info for your free cocktail shipping. Bartesian.com/info.
Heavy snow and blizzard conditions persist from the northern plains to the upper Midwest. Tornadoes, large hail, damaging winds, and heavy rainfall threaten areas from Texas over the Mississippi Valley and into the southeast tomorrow. A coastal storm is going to develop and bring heavy rain, heavy snow, and ice to portions of the mid-Atlantic and the Northeast on Thursday and Friday. Please pay attention to your local forecast, and Fox Weather will keep you updated on the latest watches and warnings. I'm Janice Dean, Fox News.
Stay informed, stay engaged. Your headlines every 15 minutes. Fox News Headlines 24/7. This is SiriusXM Channel 115.
I'm Therese Crowley, and the U.S. Attorney in New York calls it one of the biggest frauds in American history. The Senate Banking Committee today holds a hearing on the collapse of the FTX cryptocurrency exchange, with the founder Sam Bankman-Fried in a Bahamas jail cell facing charges of wire fraud, money laundering, federal campaign contribution violations. Michigan Congressman Bill Wyzanga, Fox and Friends, both big and small investors got duped.
Outright fraud, and that's the conclusion that John Ray has.